So how do you are handling success? I mean, is it all kind of new and exciting, or?
Yeah, definitely. It's all quite overwhelming actually, because I haven't been. It's literally my passion for photography as it's developed. People have been giving me attention as it's been developing, rather than me being kind of locked away doing photographs for years and then bringing them out and then suddenly people slowly paying them attention. I feel like I've had a lot of attention as I've been acquiring my skills in photography, which is obviously great for anybody.
How do you kind of manage that exposure, and all of a sudden everybody wants to get into your life? And most photographers that have really meteoric success, they're usually doing something else, but you're photographing yourself. So it's kind of a double whammy in terms of exposure and then exposure of your own personal self.
Yeah, I mean, on one hand, that should be quite a scary prospect, that not only you're putting your work out there and so many people are seeing it, but you're in the pictures as well. Which it isn't so scary, because I think every self-portrait artist knows that even though they take pictures of themselves, it's not quite themselves,
yeah.
Especially from picture to picture. Just like any other genre of photography, things can look different, because photography is a craft in itself. But I mean, as this, like you say, this notoriety is advancing, it does seem a little bit more daunting that literally the image of me is being produced everywhere. When I'm featured in a magazine, it's pictures of me, so it's a little bit strange.
And when you're taking pictures of yourself, how do you avoid being self-conscious? Because do you kind of get into a different mindset when you're actually clicking the shot of yourself?
Yeah, I'd say so. I think I'm increasingly becoming aware of how difficult it is to do a picture. Well, kind of every photographer knows that, you know, they get the one magic shot in a shoot,
right,
which is the shot. And when you're taking pictures of yourself, it's the shot that looks. It might look like you, it might look a little bit not like you, but it's something special about your pose or the way you're holding yourself. But then obviously for every magic shot you get, there might be about 20 or 30 pictures that are just cringy to look at, and you look at them and think, oh god, I want to delete them. And if it's yourself, then it's especially embarrassing. That's why it's something I do a lot of the time by myself. Sometimes I have someone assisting me, but the selection and the processing is something I always take care of. And I think that's one of the great things, having control of how you look and being able to discard the ones that you don't like.
I know when I'm out trying to photograph, there's times where my mental state is I'm getting pretty good shots and consistently, and other times I couldn't get a great shot if it was right in my face. Do you have that same thing?
Oh,
I mean,
definitely.
Are there streaks that are just magic?
Yeah.
And other times it's just not working?
Definitely. And I moan a lot when I get those streaks of nothingness, and I get sometimes very disheartened. But I think people tell me, friends and family just tell me, you know, it's just everyone has those phases where they can't produce anything. Doesn't mean that you're, you know, losing your touch.
I'm amazed. I actually have spent quite a bit of time looking at your work over the last couple of days, and the level of art to it is quite astounding. I mean, there's a reason people like your work. It goes way beyond just self-portraits. I mean, there's a craft to it. There's a lot of thought goes into it. Seems to me, from my perspective, you're the perfect convergence of talent and drive and timing. You know, using the internet and is really a great coming together. Would you agree on that?
Definitely, because for me, the photo sharing experience has been literally interwoven with the creation of images. So you create an image and then you upload it, and then you see people's response to it, and then you go away and create another one. So even if you don't take direct inspiration from what people say, because a lot of the time it's not really about the feedback necessarily, it's just about showing it to people who are going to look at it. But just knowing that people have looked at this picture and now you're going to go away and create another one, it creates like a consciousness. When you're creating images, you know that there are people waiting to see it, which I've always said is a great thing, and quite an amazing thing as well.
Did you have a plan? You started, what, 2 or 3 years ago with this? Did you even know that it would become popular?
No, not at all. When I first started, it was just, I don't know. I don't really know what was going on in my head, but I just wanted to create a really pleasing image every day, and that's when I was doing a lot of the clone pictures where there's more than one of me in the image. I just wanted to create one every day that was just, you know, delicious and full of colour, and had a lot of spare time in my hands because I was doing an arts degree, well, an English degree, and that gives you a lot of spare time between lectures. So I was spending all my time creating images. And I just wanted to see the portfolio of images just build. But at first I didn't have any motive to do that, or like any kind of specific goal professionally.
Well, what is your goal now? I mean, where do you see this going? Projecting down a year, or can you even do that? Do you have an overall plan, or are you just on a grand ride and seeing where it's going to take you?
A little bit of the grand ride, but I think it's weird because I think I'm mainly geared towards the fine art intentionally, because I like the idea of being able to keep creating self-portraits and exhibit them and to sell to the world what you've produced. But then lots of opportunities have been thrown at me which are a little bit off from the fine art. They're more into commercial photography or into the photography industry, such as the trade shows and presenting and demonstrating, and all that are things that I want to try out and things that I'm enjoying. So a lot of it is kind of haphazard. I wouldn't have aimed to get into photography trade shows when I first started, because I didn't really understand what they were about until someone came to me and said, will you go and speak at blah blah. So I think at the moment there's just a lot of opportunities in front of me. A lot of them I just want to try out as many as possible and then see where it goes. And I can try and aim to, I know I want to aim to, for example, do more of trade shows or do more of exhibitions, but at the moment it's a varied list of things in front of me.